would you be kind enough to share your website and your email address so people can get in touch with you? Also, too, Sherry, when you're giving your presentation, have your chat box open, because I will type in, I'll give you a countdown of 3 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute, and it'll pop up like this here once I spell the minutes right. There we go. Like 3 minutes, then 2 minutes. When you see that in your chat box, that's your cue. You got 3 minutes left to start winding down your talk and closing everything out. Make sense?
What was the total time? 15?
18 max.
18 minutes. 18 minutes. Mm-hmm.
18 max.
So,
if you go 15, that's fine too. We want to make sure all 3 speakers can finish up before the hour's up, because some people who are tuning in will only stay for the hour, and all of us may have other stuff planned too. So we just want to make sure we land softly.
I'll just put it on my timer too.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And if you finish up at 14 minutes or whatever, no big deal. We've had some talks that finish up at 7.5, 8 minutes, haven't we, Don? 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So we don't charge any extra for that.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead, Stephanie.
I just wanted to know, can I make an offer at the end for a free meditation?
Sure.
Yep, as long as it's a gift. Yes.
It is totally free, and it's actually the video I did on Stop Touching Your Face.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a great one.
So I want to offer that, and it's on a Bitly. So Jim, do you want that information, or should I just say it?
Just say it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, at the very end of the main thing is that someone would like to get in touch with you, your web address or your website and your email address.
Okay.
Then that way, if they can't remember the Bitly, they can get in touch with you and get it from there. Okay.
So just so everyone knows, we are at the top of the hour. We're going to start live streaming to Facebook Live, and it's going to be on Speakers Pathway Coalition Facebook page. And then, I think we tagged and shared as much as we possibly could. And so people will be able to watch this live. Of course, it will stay live on Facebook for however long Facebook decides to keep circulating it. Probably depends upon how many people keep sharing it and looking at it. So it's not over today. So please keep sharing. We're also taking this whole video of the hour, uploading it to Speakers Pathway YouTube channel. And we're also creating individual videos of each one of your talks. And so you'll receive that. It might take a week or two. So I've got somebody who's doing that work for me, but then we hope you will share that too. And you can go use that however you want.
And by the way, Sherry, what is your topic for the day?
Uncertainty is the new normal, I think is what the topic was. Or accepting the new normal or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I know it was one of those two.
Okay. Something about accepting the new normal.
What was it, Don, exactly?
It was the pathway to the new normal, acceptance.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, then you and we're going to just segue on each other. That's awesome.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll in different
Sherry,
ways. But that's the important thing, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm doing activities, so I'm doing some stuff. What's the order?
Sherry will go first, then Stephanie, and then Gloria.
Okay.
And of course, the person that's speaking, like if it was Stephanie right now, she would have the spotlight and she will have the microphone on. Everyone else's video will be off. The microphones will be off. And like Sherry, when it's your turn and you'll be first, I will make you the spotlight video. And everyone else's video will be off and that sort of thing. So.
All right, I'm going stealth. I'll be lurking on Facebook.
Incognito, huh?
I'll be incognito.
All right.
And thank you all again. Thank you all again for
participating. We'll see you a little later. Yeah. Dandy Don's going to be flying under the radar. It does take me a couple of seconds to be able to cut the cameras on and off and the mics and all that stuff, but I will be I'll be, it's okay, let me cut your camera on, let me unmute your mic, and when I cut your camera on, it'll send you a little message. Well, let's just play it right now. Let's see, Gloria, I'm going to cut your camera off. And then when I get ready to cut your camera back on, Did you see that, Gloria?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, did you click on it?
I can't, do you want me to
Yeah.
right
mhm.
now? Okay.
Yeah, it's
all
a
right.
practice thing.
Gotcha.
See? Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And Sherry, since you're going first, we'll do the same thing there. I'm going to stop your video. Then I'll send you the ask to start video request. And you pop on that. There we go. And Stephanie, second verse, same as the first. Then unmuting your mic, you won't get anything that I just simply do it. You'll see that your
Oh,
mic
okay.
is on.
Okay.
In other words, just like right now, Stephanie, let's see here. See, your mic now is now off, and I can unmute it. Try to unmute it. There we go. There we go. Click the wrong button. These things kind of bounce around a little bit when you're doing stuff. So anyway, let me cut off your videos and all that, and we're going to be going live at the top of the hour, so I'll catch you in a few minutes.
All right.
I'll mute you too. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 8th edition of Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. Today, we got a wonderful lineup with you, 3 beautiful ladies. And before we begin, I should say, Speakers Pathway Coalition at speakerspathway.com sponsors this webinar, this presentation. Please go to speakerspathway.com. Click on any of the complimentary gifts. One of our complimentary gifts comes from one of our executive training directors, Mr. Dustin Matthews. He has a beautiful presentation about how to get out of debt, how to create income, and that sort of thing. It's a free complimentary gift at speakerspathway.com. Our 3 speakers today, first will be Sherry Wynn. Sherry is a 2-time Olympian. She was on the 84 and 88 Summer Olympic team with America's team handball. She's going to be talking to us today about the pathway to a new normal. And she's also a former national basketball coach of the year, not a former, but a national basketball coach of the year. Our second speaker will be Stephanie Dwayne. She's a certified clinical hypnotist. She'll be speaking to us about how to reduce stress and anxiety. And Gloria Rand will be our third speaker. She's going to be talking to us about a subject I think that you're going to really enjoy. Love your way out of fear. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just turn on Sherry's camera there and ask her to join us, please. Hi, Sherry. How are you today?
Well, I'm awesome. We've got about 10 inches of snow outside in Montana.
Oh, my
So it's
goodness.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
we're so glad that you joined us this morning, and we're so anxious to hear about your presentation. So, you know, the stage is yours. Let me shut off my video and my mic, and it's all yours.
Okay, hey everybody, I'm Sherry Wynn. This is another edition of Winner's Minutes via Speakers Pathway, and I'm honored to just share with you some of the concepts that I've learned throughout years and years of reading, meditating, journaling, and being coached by others. So in this time, people are really uncertain, and the uncertainty creates, it's the whole uncertainty part that creates the fear, the panic. The thing is that there's a new normal going on. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's evil. It doesn't mean that we're going to go into some nosedive into the unknown evil of the world. It simply means that there's an opportunity that exists in front of us. In fact, uncertainty is normal. It's just that we haven't experienced this type of uncertainty before. Think about it. How many times have you in your life faced times of uncertainty? We all do. Times when, the first time you might face it is going off to college. That's a time of great uncertainty. Marriage, divorce, illness. There's always times of uncertainty. It's part of the pathway of how we live. It's not unnormal to be uncertain. It's just that right now it seems like it's such a big pulsating thing that we're experiencing. So we go into fear, and fear is not really the direction of thinking. It's not the direction of responding. Fear is the direction of reacting. So when we move forward, number one is to accept that uncertainty is normal. If we can just grasp that first and not get upset about it, not dive into some deep despair well that says it's never ending, we're going to fall forever, we'll never see light again, all those things that happen to us. And to get there, it's really acceptance that this is the new normal right now. And it might be a new normal, a new way of living. We don't know what's going to happen as a result of this, but we do know this, that your ability to navigate this is the single most important factor of the outcome for you. And so while other people are panicking because they see only in the future loss, that is not reality. That is something that's created by the thoughts that they're thinking. And there's different ways to think. So the first thing is understanding that resistance to the new normal is going to cause more anxiety and more stress, which increases that panic response, which decreases your immune system. You go right into a really negative space as soon as you go there. And so many people are panicking. I mean, they're buying guns at record pace because they think they have to protect their homes, and they're buying food at record pace, like canned goods. And people are panicking to the point that they're not thinking clearly. They're not thinking of what's the possible good that could come from this. They're just thinking of the possible evil, and they're only like dwelling in the darkness. And when we go there, we go into that fight or flight response, which leads us only into more negativity. We're not thinking. Acceptance is something different. Look, there are going to be some painful points here. We may not have the same amount of money in our IRA accounts. We may not have the ability to buy all the goods that we want. We certainly don't have the ability to go buy toilet paper what we want. But here's the thing. When you just sit in acceptance of what is right now, when you just believe that what is happening is okay, that no matter what happens, you're going to find a way out of it. There's a difference in the amount of suffering that you feel, because suffering is optional. And we always have that. We have the option to execute our choice muscle in the ways that we choose to respond. How you can respond to this is more important actually than what is going on currently. How are you responding to it? What are you doing that's increasing your ability to handle the current status? And if you just understand that suffering is optional, there is a choice there. The pain is real. Yes, some of us have lost money. I personally have lost a lot of gigs. I'm a speaker. And so I've lost all those face-to-face contacts that I love, because I love feeling the energy in a room and connecting with that energy, which is so much different. When you're speaking online, you can't feel and connect in the same ways that you normally would. And so there is a certain loss there. But how are you connecting right now? How are you connecting with yourself, and what opportunity exists for you to move forward? And that's what you want to think about. What opportunity exists that I can move forward? And the first thing is, remember to look for ways to improve your situation. How can you improve what's going on right now? A lot of the great CEOs and companies, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not going into despair. They're looking for opportunity. What opportunity exists right now to move forward? You know, Ford and GM has shifted from making vehicles to making ventilators. They immediately did that. Many of the distilleries have shifted from making, alcohol to making hand sanitizer. They immediately look for the opportunity to serve, to do a greater good for the world, and they found it. And it's the same thing that can happen to you. What's your opportunity that exists? And maybe you're not a producer of things, but certainly there's an opportunity that exists for you right now moving forward. There is an opportunity for you somehow. What are you doing differently to improve your current situation? And maybe that's just connecting at a deeper level with you. Maybe that's, right now I get to spend an entire hour in the mornings to sit down and to meditate, to read, to connect at a higher level, to really re-energize and keep myself in a stable situation, looking for opportunities. And I have this great thing that has really shifted where I feel. And that's I write 10 things I'm grateful for from the day before. So I sit down and say, okay, what am I grateful for that happened yesterday? And I thought initially 10 would be easy. And the first 5 are always easy. And I get to 6, I'm thinking, why did I make 10? 10 seems so far and distant. But it stretches you to get to the place that you see, man, there are some really good things that are happening still. There are some things to be grateful for. And then I added to that to create, what is one miracle that happened yesterday? And some people think, well, a miracle is like this really, outstanding event, but maybe a miracle is just a new way of viewing your current situation. Maybe the miracle is you got an unexpected check in the mail. Maybe the miracle is you looked outside and the first time for days, like in Montana, like it's still snowing right now. We have 10 inches on the ground. But maybe the miracle is seeing a ray of sunlight. So, when you stretch yourself to look for those things, there's a shift that occurs inside of you, which is really powerful. That shift is so powerful because it keeps you connected to the acceptance of greater good, because there is greater good coming forward if you are looking for it, versus the people who are in resistance and they're just searching, they're resisting the current reality, which makes them angry and it makes them depressed. And all they're seeing is what isn't rather than what is. So there's an opportunity for you right now to shift what you're doing, to shift and go into a new direction, to reconnect with you. And that just takes a book. Or it takes a YouTube video. It takes, get on a phone with somebody and say, let's discuss this quote that I just read. What does it mean to you? This is what it means to me. Is there a deeper level to that? There's such a great opportunity right now to reconnect and to switch your thinking. The second thing is, think of the unknown as just another word for creativity, because that's what it is. When there's unknown, there is creativity opportunity. And we're always in one of 3 states. We're in the state of creativity, of maintenance, or destruction. Constantly, our bodies are in that state. Our minds are in that state. Look at the nature's in that state. If you look at a tree, there is this constant evolution between those 3. There's this place where creativity occurs, where the tree is growing. And there's a place where it's kind of stabilizing, where the leaves aren't falling, where you can see the beauty of the tree. And there's a place of destruction. It's a natural progression of life. Well, it's the same thing in your body. You have cells that are constantly being destroyed, and you have cells that are constantly being renewed. And at the same time, you have that stability or maintenance. But what happens is, when we stay in one of those stages, like maintenance for too long, like some people right now might be just holding on to the seconds. They might just be holding on to just trying to make it through this. Or they might be in a total state of destruction. Their whole mindset has gone to what is bad, what are the negative things that are happening, I'm not going to make it. It's a terrible thing that's going on right now. And they're in those states. Those states are not producing a positive effect at the end. So what is the state you want to go to? Creativity. Where's the creativity? What does that do? It infuses you with new energy. It possesses this new place that you can get to when you're creative. What is around you that you can do? And certainly there are a lot of people right now being creative on the internet. I look at Facebook and it just cracks me up with some of the different things that people are doing to share laughter and reaching out and people who've never done a video before doing videos. So there is creativity. And so that unknown produces this vast opportunity for creativity. And that just means reaching out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, what a great thing. None of it's bad. It means you're just opening new doors to yourself. The next thing that might help you, it certainly is helping me, is to acknowledge that opposites exist in the world. We must have opposites, and they exist. Think about it: hot and cold, night and day. It is natural and normal to have opposites, and only through opposites and only through the contrast of those opposites can we experience a difference in the way that we feel. And we always have that choice, the choice muscle, to experience the greater feeling. But if we don't have the opposites, we don't know. We don't know what something means. If you've never experienced a great failure, you've never experienced then the opposite end of that great success. It's that knowledge between the two that allows you to have that incredible feeling that exists. So if you just understand that it is a natural state of opposites, that not all the time will the stock market rise. You look at history. In fact, all financial advisors right now are saying, hold steady, don't pull your money, because that's the worst thing you can do, right? Hold steady because it will come back. Years and years and years of history have shown this. So embrace that. Embrace the moment. It's what you have. Embrace the moment because it's all that you have. You just have this one moment right now. There's no other moment that exists. And what happens is when we get into that past, and most of the things that are triggered right now in you are the past or from past experiences. If you've had a place where there wasn't enough, right now you're going right back to that space because it is a past space where that incredible suffering, right? Suffering was felt because maybe you didn't have the tools to know suffering was a choice. So you went back into the past and you feel that. And that triggers just putting you back into this whole thing about what the future is going to be. So you're predicting the future from the past. You're going into this space that doesn't need to be there because the past is gone. It no longer exists. This is the moment that currently exists right now, is only this moment. And in this moment, in this very moment, you're probably okay. In this very moment, I'm okay, right? There's nothing that's harming me right now. Usually the harm is either we're living in the past moments or we're projecting future moments. So be where you are. Really tap into compassion because there's a choice between that anger and compassion that we go to. There's a place where anger can rule our lives. And I know for me, anger ruled my life for probably a good 15 years. And what did that give me? It gave me chronic pain because I lived so much in anger that I couldn't get out of it. I was so distraught by what I saw or what I interpreted as bad in the world. And every time I interpreted as bad, then more of that same feeling came into me. So can you give yourself compassion for just where you're at? Offer yourself compassion. Maybe you didn't have the money set aside that you needed. Maybe you weren't, maybe you were living paycheck to paycheck. But getting angry at yourself does not change it. It only increases that whole immunity problem. That the less immune that you are to diseases, which is created by greater stress, you're putting yourself in a more of a position to get the virus versus accepting what is. And offer yourself compassion for where we are right now. Whatever occurred, maybe you didn't do the right things to get yourself in a great spot right now. But just give yourself compassion because you didn't know or you didn't have the tools. That self-compassion is a lot better than self-judgment. There's a difference of feeling between the two. And living in that place of self-compassion is such a better place to be when you're resounding in that energy. This is a great time to understand that this too shall pass. Because we live in uncertainty, nothing remains the same forever. It just doesn't. I mean, you enter a new chapter of your life all the time, whether it was, when you were a kid to a young adult to going into marriage, and then you had kids, which is a whole different chapter, and your kids leave and you're an empty nester. Those are all different chapters. Nothing remains the same. It's when we want it to, when we're trying to force that control of, is what creates all the suffering of, right? But just being in the moment and knowing it's going to pass. Whether it's a good moment, it's going to pass, and whether it's, I label those good or bad, we don't really know. But when we label them, it's part of the labeling of a moment. It causes so much angst within us. So people, listen, there is a new normal right now. You have a choice. That choice is acceptance or it's resistance. You have that choice to move forward and be steady in terms of what you believe, to tap into that greater good or to choose something different. So my name is Sherry Wynn. If there's anything that I've said today that resonates with you, know that I'm willing to offer a free book, a free FREE, it's a free book called Unleash the Winner Within You, a success game plan for business leadership and life. And I would certainly love for you to have that for free. All you have to do is email me. There's nothing attached to this. You can get the free book at Sherry@thewinningleadershipcompany.com. That's SHERRY @thewinningleadershipcompany.com. leadershipcompany.com. It's free, nothing attached. It's just what I want to give right now. I think right now there are people who are in the position of needing some sort of inspiration. And I would love to be a part of that inspiration for you to give back, because I know that what you give, you get, and what you get, you give. So please hang on, be steady in your faith, recognize that there is a new normal for all of us. It's not bad, it just is. And exercise your choice muscle to move forward. So thank you, Jim and Dawn, for having me a part of Speakers Pathway. And I'm so honored to share these words with you today. Please, please, please be present, find the good, and exercise that choice muscle in the new normal.
Wow, Sherry, thank you so much. I really enjoy hearing you speak every time because I know you're a polished and a fantastic speaker. I've known you for over a year now, and I've seen you go and grow, and you're one of the most giving individuals I know. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, your personal, the email address that they could get in touch with you, would you be kind enough to share that with us, please?
Okay, again, that email address is Sherry, SHERRY, at thewinningsleadershipcompany.com. Again, I'm happy to share with you, a free coaching call if you need it. No pitches, nothing outside that, or a free book if you feel like that's going to help you move forward. Again, no pitches, nothing. I'm not looking for anything in return. Just my gift to you.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, I know Sherry personally, and I know that she is a lady of her word. And your website, where they can find out more about you.
www.thewinningsleadershipcompany.com. And again, this is when I talk about winning leadership, one of the things I think about, Don, is that we always have to lead ourselves first. And one of the things I focus on is really self-leadership, because when you master leading yourself, you certainly have the ability to help lead others.
Absolutely, because leaders, they lead by example, and if you can't lead yourself, you cannot lead anyone else. And your message was so inspiring today about the pathway to a new normal of acceptance. And I know, and I know that you know, that once the panic and the dust settles from this scare that people are going through, we're going to see people from all over the world come together and help one another, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. And then I think we'll all look back and say, why were we worried about not having enough toilet paper?
For sure.
Sherry, thank you so very much for being with us, and hope you stay and enjoy the rest of the show, because next our guest will be Stephanie Dwayne. Let me cut Stephanie's camera on, please. And got to do a little work here. I'm always amazed at how much it takes to be able to put on a show. That's why I really appreciate Ben up at TogaNet Radio, where we have our radio show, Your Future Is Now. And Stephanie, are you there?
I
You are
am.
there. Let me give you the spotlight. Welcome to the show. And you're going to talk to us today about how to reduce stress and anxiety.
Yeah,
You can even
actually,
help me. You can even help me, right?
I can help you. Yes. Yes, I
I
can.
know you can. We've known each other for some time, and we're so thankful that you took time out of your busy day to be with us, to share your wonderful message with some folks out there who probably really need to hear it. So let me cut my video off and mute my microphone, because Stephanie, the stage is yours.
All right. Thank you. I just, first off, I want to just thank Jim and Dawn for just taking the time to put this amazing platform together, and for giving me and other speakers the opportunity to serve others. So thank you very, very much. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can reduce your stress and anxiety. And I'm going to give you some opportunities and some activities to do. And I'm going to show you those activities. So I just want to give back to you in this time and really serve others. And today's a new opportunity for all of us, to wake up in the morning and know that all of this is just temporary. But it's a different way of life right now, but it's not forever. It's just for right now. And I wanted to be able to share those activities with you and know that you do have a positive future because this is just temporary. And you can choose, just like Sherry said, you can choose to wake up and be positive. And I know that today a lot of things are changing for people, and it can be full of stress and anxiety. So I just want to invite you to just really embrace the suck of all of this, because, you know, it is changing, it is different, but there's hope. And, you know, a month or two from now, things are really going to change. So let's be honest, some people, not all, but some people, this has really interrupted their life. In fact, it's caused even more stress and anxiety for a lot of people. Not all, but for a lot. And many of you have expressed that stress and anxiety. How many of you have had it? I certainly have, because things have changed. So my name's Stephanie Dwayne, and you know what? I have the best job in the world. I'm a certified clinical hypnotist who help people break through what's blocking them, standing in their way and holding them back. And in these times, that could be you, or it could be someone you know. And today I just want to share with you some activities to help you feel better, to reduce that stress and anxiety, so that really you'll be able to move forward and make changes and make decisions, not react, but to choose a better way, and just give your brain a break so that you can take the time to really create your new future. And I just want to share with you a story. I met a man, his name is Ted, and we were at an expo. So lots of people around, tables, everything. And he was working for Senator Brian Mast at his table just for a few hours. And he overheard, because he was behind me, and he overheard me talking about hypnosis. And after his shift was over, he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, you know, my name's Ted, and I was listening to you and I was wondering if hypnosis could help me. And I said, well, let's talk and see what's going on. So we sat down and I just started listening to his story. And as we sat down, what was happening was he was so anxious and stressed. And as he told me his story, he said he has severe anxiety. And he did 4 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And now he's retired. He's on his 3rd marriage because he wasn't able to go out into public a lot, and he wasn't very social, and that was very difficult for him. He had difficulty in crowds, and the whole time I was talking to him, his eyes were like looking at the doors, darting around, looking everywhere, looking at the exits, looking at the windows, looking at people. Because here's the thing, he was a trained killer. His whole career was in the military. And so when he got out, how do you change that? How do you change that mindset? And it was just really stressful for him. And so I asked him if he had his keys, and he pulled them out of his pocket. And what I had him do, and I'm going to have you do this too, you don't have to use keys, but I'm going to show you some activities, and I invite you to do these with me so that you can get a feel for them. So, I mean, you could have a remote control, you could have a ball, which I'm going to use, you could have your keys, you could use a pill box or like Advil box or whatever. So what you do is you have a midline, and it goes right down the middle of your body. And what I had him do was take his keys out, and I'm going to use a ball. But what's going to happen, I'm going to sit up so you can do this, but you don't have to do this in front of your face. You can do this just in your lap, okay? But what you do with whatever object you have is you pass your hand across your midline. So right down the middle, your hand has to pass across the midline. And you keep tossing that and passing across the midline, just like that. That's all you have to do. As you're doing that, just focus on something else. You could do it while you're watching TV. You could do it and just focus on your breath, but just passing that ball back and forth. So as I'm talking to him, I had this ball, and he had his keys, and I had him just do this as we're visiting. And we did this for about 90 seconds is all. That's all it takes, 60 to 90 seconds. And he said to me afterwards, I said, okay, now go ahead and just relax your arms and quit tossing your keys. And what he did was he said to me, Stephanie, what did you do? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, this is the most relaxed I've ever been that I can remember in a very long time. What did you do? And so what I did was I explained to him that just tossing his keys back and forth, passing his midline, was right brain, left brain. It's called bilateral stimulation. And when you use this, what it does is it breaks up the thought pattern, the anxiety that he had, and he stopped thinking about it for just 90 seconds. And that 90 seconds, what happened was that 90 seconds, what it did is it broke those neurons that were creating the charge of anxiety, the thought pattern, just for that moment. And so he was able to relax. And as I'm talking to him, you know, his knee was bouncing, that nervous knee bounce. All of a sudden, his knee stopped bouncing. And he just kind of dropped his shoulders a little bit, and you could see it. And it was amazing to see. And he was so happy because he got relief even for a few minutes. It was really important to him. So I want to share with you that activity so that you can do that. So when you start feeling a little stressed or anxiety about what's going on around you, you know, even if you're at the store waiting in line for toilet paper, grab your keys and just toss the ball. Make sure you cross the midline. It's going to help you do a pattern interrupt in your brain and help you create some calmness and kind of de-stress you for a moment. And this is a tool you can use for anything. For example, let's say you have some cravings. You're sitting around the house. I'm looking around my house now. You're sitting around the house all day long and you have a lot of downtime. Well, sometimes we do emotional eating, or we're bored, so we go to the refrigerator. Well, what if you don't want to go to the refrigerator? What if you're not really hungry and it's just head hunger, and it's not stomach hunger or tummy hunger, it's head hunger, and you still have that urge? Grab your keys, grab your remote, toss it back and forth. It can be just as easy as this. And that can really change the way you're feeling. So I wanted to share that activity with you and that technique. And you know, I also had a client, and she gave me permission to share this with you. I had a client that was afraid to go over bridges. She just couldn't get herself to do it. And we live in Florida, and everywhere you go, there's causeways and bridges. So it's very difficult to get around in Florida without having to go over a bridge. And so she would map out where she had to go. And if she couldn't get there without going over a bridge, she waited till one of her kids got home, or her husband, so that she could have them drive. And it was affecting not just her life, but also her family's life, because they had to stop what they were doing and help her, which they didn't mind, but you know, it was daunting for a lot of things. And so what happened is, Mary is her name. I gave her a technique, and I want to share this with you. And I would love for you to participate right now in this technique, because it really does work. So what you're going to do is I just invite you to close your eyes. And when you feel stress and anxiety, where do you feel it in your body? Just pay attention. Some people feel it in their gut. Some people feel it in their stomach. Some people feel it right here in their chest. And some people feel it in their head. It could be anywhere. Okay, so just when you feel that stress and anxiety, where do you feel it? And so now that you know where you feel it, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you feel that anxiety, pay attention to where it is. 1 being, or 0 being nothing, and 10 being way up there. And maybe you're having a panic attack, or maybe you have that anxiety or some stress or some anger, because, you know, really anger right now, people are angry. They're angry that their kids are home and the parents are now responsible for their schoolwork. And, you know, this is a new day. We don't know what's coming, but there's a lot of stuff coming. And the first reaction that we get might be anger. Where are you feeling that anger? So I just invite you to close your eyes, feel that, and then imagine that you're pulling that out of your body and you're holding it right up in front of you, okay? You're holding it right up in front of you just like this, all right? And so I'm going to ask you a few questions. When you pull that out and really pull everything out, because some of that stuff may hide in your body, the questions I want to ask you is, what is the shape of that anger? What is the shape of that anxiety? What is the shape of that stress? Because everything has a shape. Okay, and what color is it? Give it a color. All right, great. So now that you've given it a color, which way is it spinning? Because we're all energy. The earth is rotating. Atoms are moving. So what way is it spinning? If it's this way or, this way, whatever, okay? So what I'd like you to do now with that stress, that anxiety, or that anger, or whatever emotion you're feeling, I'd like you to just shrink it down. And you can do this in your mind, or you can physically do it. Just squish it down as small as you can get it. Squish it down, squish it down, squish it down. There you go. Now I want you to change the color. Give it a color that you enjoy. Pick any color and just give it a color. Just imagine you're giving it that color. Good. Now what I'd like you to do is change the direction of the spin to the opposite way. So if it's spinning this way, go this way. If it's spinning this way, go this way. So make it spin. Get it spinning even more, spinning so fast now. Just spin it. There you go. Good. So you've shrunk that down, you've given it a different color, and now you're spinning it a different direction. Wonderful. So now this is the part that you're going to think is so silly, but it's so important because it's changing the energy. Okay? I want you to slam it back into your body exactly where you got it. Just put it in there, slam it in there, put it in, now laugh. Ha 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 ha. Come on, laugh. Keep laughing. Ha ha ha. Even if you have to fake it, laugh. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, keep laughing because it's changing the energy of it. Good, good. Just keep laughing. I know it's silly, but I promise you it really works. Keep laughing. All right, now that you've laughed and you put it back in, where do you feel that now? On a scale of 0 to 10, where is that? And what happens is it reduces that feeling. It shrinks it down and it reduces it. Some people don't even feel it anymore. This process seems so silly, but it really works because your brain is so powerful. It's so very powerful that you can create the thoughts that you want. You can create the positive thoughts, and you can also choose to create negative thoughts. So I invite you to create the positive thoughts and to create and to make those negative thoughts, the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the sadness about what's going on, the hurt, all of those negative thoughts. I invite you to change them by creating more positive thoughts. And your brain will adjust. Those neural pathways will reconnect with more positive neural pathways. If this, here's the thing. If this is, have you guys ever heard of neuroplasticity? Some people have. Some people might know what it is. Some people don't. That's okay. So neuroplasticity basically is, if you have a neuron, and they kind of look like this, okay? You have a neuron and you have a thought, and you think that thought more than 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden you've got another neuron that's going to connect. And so the saying is, neurons that wire together, fire together. So it's going to fire a thought, it's going to fire an emotion, and it's going to fire a belief system. So all of a sudden in your subconscious mind, you've created a belief system. And maybe that belief system is something that could be positive or it could be negative. Well, guess what? When you refire those neurons and you create a positive belief system, it cancels out the negative belief system. And what you just did in that activity, we were able to cancel one of those out and create something more positive. And the more you do this, the easier it's going to be. So I gave this woman, Mary, these activities to do. And it really helped her. And within a few months, she was able to drive over bridges. And it was really exciting to me because just by using the tools of your brain, because you all have it within you, we have all the tools we need. We just need to learn how to access them. So it's really exciting to be able to make those changes for her, or for her to make those changes and me to just help. And I just want to say to you that these times can be challenging, but if you embrace it and just, you know, learn from it and create new patterns, create new activities, and have fun. This is a time where we all get to pause from our busy, busy days, and we get to pause and we get to enjoy our families, enjoy our spouses, even enjoy our pets. You know, we're so busy that sometimes our pets don't get enough attention. And now, for me, example, I get to go on long walks with my dog, and he is absolutely loving it and very, very spoiled, by the way. So I want to offer you something free with no attachments whatsoever. And what this is a 15-minute hypnosis session on stop touching your face, because we're all touching our faces. And when you touch the mucosas of your mouth, your nose, your eyes, that's how you can create, you know, germs coming into your body. And this is a hypnosis session. It's only 15 minutes. And so I want to give this to you, and I'm going to show you here the link. It's bit.ly/reduce face touching. It's absolutely free. Nothing, I mean, no strings attached or anything. This is a 15-minute recording. So I would love to just share that with you so you have that. And I know this is backwards and I apologize. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. And I just want to invite you right now, when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, instead of thinking about all the negative stuff from yesterday, open your eyes and say, what positive things, what magical things are going to happen in my day today? And start creating those, because your brain is powerful and you can do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephanie. I really enjoyed the way that you presented to take that stress and anxiety out of your body and hold it in your hands, give it a shape, give it a color, and then squeeze it down. I had never thought of anything like that, but it really makes sense. And I want to thank you so much for sharing that with the audience. And again, how can people get in touch with you? By your email address and your website, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my email address is by the Sea Hypnosis, all one word, BYTHESEAHYPNOSIS @gmail.com. And my website is www.bytheseahypnosis.com.
Thank you so very much. And it really is a pleasure for us to be here with you today and for you to be with us and sharing your information with everyone.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience. And I just appreciate you and Dawn so much for serving others and putting this out there to help other people. I think we're having some internet problems. I don't know if it's me or you. Hopefully we can get back. Jim, are you there? Well, just in case it's not me, so we're not sitting here in silence. I just want to share from my heart and be able to give you just a little bit of inspiration.
I think there is some kind of, I think there is some kind of a internet issue. I think Jim dropped out. He should be right back in.
Okay. I just want to share from my heart. You want me to just keep talking? All right. So, like I said, I live in Florida, and we've waited in line for toilet paper, and I use those techniques, just tossing my keys, something you know you won't drop. Um, but yeah, so it's been a lot of fun being able to share my message with people. Hi, are you there?
Hi.
Okay.
I'll jump in because I think
Yeah.
Jim's having some internet problems. So I want to thank you so much, Stephanie, for being with us, stepping forward to be one of our speakers today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's see if I can do as good of a job as Jim does operating the all this stuff. So hang on. All right, thank you. Oh, it looks like the master is back.
My internet just went down. I don't got no idea what happened. I thought I put an extra quarter in, so I apologize for that. But Don, you got the spotlight. Go ahead and invite Gloria on, if you would, please. I apologize.
Let me go ahead and make you the host again. I think you do such a good job. I'm going to make you host again.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you know, these things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm going to go stealth again.
Oh, okay, sir. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. And let me turn Gloria's, unmute Gloria there. There's Gloria. How are you doing, Gloria?
I'm doing well. Yes. I had the same internet issue. I was like, oh no, it went away, but I got back up.
I know what you
just in
mean,
time.
because I know what you mean. But we're going to give you your full 20, your time and everything. But most importantly, Stephanie, I know that she can hear me. When you start talking, Gloria, I'm going to take that stress out of my body and I'm going to squeeze that thing down to a BB. We're looking so forward. You're going to be talking about, what about love and fear? What's that going to be about? How to love yourself?
Love your way out of fear. That's what I'll be
Love
talking
your
about.
way out of fear. Oh my goodness. Let me cut my camera off and mute my mic. The stage is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Jim and Don and Speakers Pathway Coalition for this opportunity. Like the other speakers have said, it's a real huge honor to be able to support everyone at a time like this. So it's, you know, dealing with so many people are at home and on the internet. We're having so much fun. But before I get into talking about how to love your way out of fear, I thought I'd first talk to you a little bit about, let's define what fear is. So have you ever heard that fear stands for friendly elephants always race? You haven't heard that before? Oh, wait, no, sorry. I mean, false evidence appearing real. That's it, yes. Okay, I'm recording this on April Fool's Day, so I'm trying to lighten the mood a little bit here. But fear is that. It's a lot of people have said that it's false evidence appearing real. And I get that intellectually. But at the same time, our body sometimes, though, still reacts to it as real. It perceives it as real. And a lot of times it just we go into this fight or flight mode. So let me share an example, a story that happened to me years ago when I was a lot younger, probably in my 20s. I had just celebrated my birthday, and I had lovely relatives had given me a bunch of cash, and so I went to the shopping mall to, you know, treat myself, to buy myself something for my birthday, and didn't have any luck. So I was leaving the shopping mall, heading back to my car, and I noticed a young man approaching me with a gun in his hand. And my first reaction was to turn and run to my car. And I opened it up and got in and locked the doors because I wasn't going to let him take my money. Talk about crazy, right? Putting my life in jeopardy for money. But I didn't think. It was just an automatic response. My brain just said, nope, we are not staying in this situation. The flight mechanism took off, and I literally took off and ran. But a lot of times, that's an extreme situation, but a lot of times we are dealing with things that maybe aren't quite so concrete. And maybe it is, we're scared by things that perhaps aren't even under our control. And that becomes harder to deal with. And that's where I have, over the last few years, I have found a way to be able to deal with that type of fear in particular. Because of course, if you're in a life or death situation, you're going to take action. But if it's something where there's something going on that you don't quite have control over, this is where you can use the power of love. And what love is an acronym. So the first letter, L, stands for let go and let God. Now, letting go of fear might not seem like it's an easy thing to do necessarily, right? But you can do it. And as some of the other speakers have talked about today, it's really a matter of choice and choosing. How do you want to be? And one of the main things that I have found is to stop, as I just did there, is to just stop and breathe and let go. And one of the things that's certainly one, but one of the more, I would say, one of the powerful ways I've found is to sort of change your thoughts. And it's letting go of the fear thoughts and replacing them with more empowering thoughts. I'll tell you another story that I was in. One of my family members had gotten themselves into a bit of a pickle with the law and was, they were handling it, they were managing it, had gotten an attorney, but it was still up in the air as to what was going to happen. Were they going to be able to, were they going to go to jail? Were they going to be let off with a warning because it was a first offense and things like that? And this was something that I certainly had no control over. I was very concerned about this person. It was someone very close to me, but I had no control over it. I didn't know what was going to be able to happen with the judge. I didn't know what would happen with the attorney. I had no control. So what I found myself doing is I would go for walks in the morning and I would borrow a phrase that I got from Louise Hay. And she would say this mantra that out of this situation, only good will come. This is easily resolved for the highest good of all concerned. And I would just say that over and over again. Okay, out of this situation, only good will come. Out of this situation, only good will come. This is easily resolved for the highest good of all concerned. And I would say that over and over again. And for me, it really helped because it was this pattern interrupt in my brain so that I wasn't focusing on the outcome, which was something I had no control over. All I really had control over was me right now and the thoughts that I was thinking. And by choosing to think more positive thoughts or more optimistic thoughts, I was able to deal with it better. And I was able to cope with the anxiety. Because here's the thing is all we have is right now. The past is gone and the future, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. The future isn't here yet. All you can control is your own thoughts and feelings. And that's it. So you can decide how you want to be. So affirmations are one thing that I've found. Another thing is to pray. If you have a higher power, you believe in God, the universe, whatever your beliefs are, turn your fears over to God and just say, I need help. Look wherever you want to do and just say, I need help, please let me deal with this better. Another thing you can do is to meditate. Meditating is one of my favorite things to do because it's just a matter of getting quiet. And it doesn't have to be a long amount of time. You could just close your eyes for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If you want to do a half an hour or more, that's great too. But just to get quiet, close your eyes. And here's the important part, just breathe. I mean, sometimes actually, if you even want to just sit and focus in on your breath without even closing your eyes, that works too. Just taking a deep breath in, holding it for, like, say, a count of 5, and then letting it all go. And then doing that again. Breathing in, holding it, and letting it go. Our breath is a wonderful thing. Just the act of doing that, getting the oxygen into your lungs, it calms your entire physical body down. And that in turn helps to calm that monkey mind, I like to call it, get those thoughts, quieting them down as well. So just taking some time during the day, when you find yourself getting stressed out or afraid, just doing that can really help. So that's the L. The O in love stands for opening your heart to receive. What do I mean by that? Well, it means calling for help, opening yourself up to receive guidance from other people, opening support from other people, calling a friend. You know, a lot of what's going on right now is a lot of people are in isolation, but it doesn't mean you have to be isolated. So, you know, if you're at home with your family, of course, you've got people to talk to. But if you live alone, that's a little bit harder. So in those cases, reach out to someone, call someone on the phone. Remember when our phones were used for actually talking, not necessarily texting? So call someone and just say, hey, how's life going? Have you found any toilet paper yet? So let me know what store it is. But just reach out to people. You don't have to be alone right now. That's the important thing to know. And if you're really in trouble, there are organizations out there that will help you. There are support groups. There are hotlines available. So just Google it. The internet can be your friend. Don't feel that you have to suffer alone. You absolutely don't have to. Now the V in love stands for value your uniqueness and really your unique feelings. Because let's face it, if you're scared, you're going to have to acknowledge that sometime. And it's okay. Just say, okay, yep. I'm a little tense right now. I get it. Okay, yes, I acknowledge that. And just give yourself permission to feel it. And then, after you've done that for a minute or 2 or 3, ask yourself and say, okay, how long do I really want to feel this way? Do I really want to be miserable? Or do I want to consider the alternative and find my way back to joy again? And see what your heart says. And if it says, okay, yeah, I'm tired of being scared, I want to do something else, then honor that. And start by coming up with, say, 3 things that you're grateful for. And be able to jot those down. And then maybe you'll come up with 3 more things and keep going. And then save that list, because in the future, when you have some other times when you are under stress or you're feeling either sad or scared, you can pull that list out again and refer to it and say, oh, wow, yeah, I really do have a lot of good things going on in my life. So maybe I don't need to choose to be feeling scared and anxious right now. Instead, I can feel grateful and happy that I have all of these blessings in my life. Now, the final letter is E. And E is embrace your divinity. Now, see, I believe that we are all created in God's image. We all have God within us. And when we're like looking inward and meditating, we are really tapping into God that is inside of us. So embracing your divinity to me means self-love, expressing self-love and self-care, being kind to yourself. So when you are experiencing times of stress and fear, go do something good for yourself. Maybe go soak in a bubble bath for a while, close the door, light some candles, and just let the stress of the day or the situation go. Maybe it's putting on some music and dancing around your living room. I like to do that. Well, not my living room. I'll dance around my office, actually. Spend some time in visualizing, thinking about what do I really want to happen? What do I want this situation that I'm in to look like instead? If I didn't want it to be X, where it's something that is scary, what would be the opposite of that? And start imagining that. Use your brain. You know, our brains are like the most powerful machine ever. And whatever we think about is something that we can actually create. So just like if you are always thinking thoughts of fear and lack and scarcity and anger and depression, then that tends to be what you then see in your life. That's what shows up for you. But instead, if you can spend time consciously every day visualizing good things, you know, a healthy body, a healthy mind, healthy family, healthy friends, lots of abundance, plenty of money to do good in the world with, then that's what you will start, your brain will start trying to find ways for you to be able to make that actually happen. And you'll start coming up with creative ideas to be happy, to be joyful, and to have more love in your life. So that's pretty much how I've been able to be able to love my way out of fear, and what I've been able to teach my clients as well. And oh, one other thought before I finish up is especially related to letting go. And this was perfect because I subscribe to Notes from the Universe from Mike Dooley. And today I actually got one that talked about letting go. And it said, letting go isn't giving up. It is understanding that the best is yet to come. So that's what I want to wish for you. And because it's something that I believe with all my heart, that all of the things that are going on right now is just a way of preparing us for a awesome future where we are going to have some tremendous things coming out of it, tremendous new inventions, new ideas. And with all of that, we are going to be able to be closer than ever and being able to really love one another as God loves us. So that is all I want to share with you today. So thank you so much, Speaker's Pathway, for letting me talk today.
Thank you, Gloria. We really appreciate your message on love. It's really important for us to all to love and care for one another. And most importantly, whenever we share our blessings with others, we're going to be blessed too. And that's what we're doing here at Speakers Pathway Coalition, putting on this event. And would you be so kind as to share with us how people can get in touch with you by email? If you have a website, or please share it with us, please.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be happy to. You can, if you have any questions or anything to be able to want to talk with me more, you can reach me at gloria@gloriarand.com. And my website It's easy too. It's gloriarand.com. So as long as you see my name there, you'll be able to find me.
Hey, thank you so very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize again for the fact that we had a little technical difficulties and I got lost, and Don kind of wondered where I went to, but that's one of the things about when you're live, things go on. But most importantly, we're focused on what we are delivering to you in value. Please go to Speakers Pathway Coalition on the Facebook page. We have a community public Facebook page there. You can see all of our speakers there. We're going to have them isolated individually so you can listen to their individual message. We're also on YouTube at Speakers Pathway Coalition on YouTube. You can see the entire show there, or the individual speakers. But most importantly, we want to thank you again, and please subscribe and share these wonderful messages from these wonderful speakers that we've had and will have. Please share them with someone else that you know that could use their wonderful message. Today, I want to say again, thank you to Sherry Wynn, Stephanie Dwayne, and of course you, Gloria Rand. Thank you so very much for being with us. I'm Jim Grant. We're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.